will see you again.
Marcus Dollar must and will stand trial for murder.
I grew up watching Western. Like, if one of my favorite movies is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So, like, I grew up, my dad and my mom used to watch a lot of Western. And there's always, that I noticed since I'm a kid, is redemption. Why we use Western to tell stories about redemption? And my question is for both of you.
Well, I think because it was possible in that time. It was a very brutal part of American history, but it was a very beautiful part of American history. And to overcome the obstacles and to find truth within the chaos of evil is a beautiful way to tell a story. And I think clearly we did that with Long Shadows, and Sarah Cortez brought it in buckets full of beauty as our lead actress.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of redemption in love in this story in particular. You know, they both have these huge tragedies that have affected them, and they both, I mean, they choose love. You know, it shows that it's never too late. It's never too late for a second chance, and Dulce really doesn't give up on Marcus, and I think there's huge redemption in that.
But also, when I watch these kind of movies, the physicality as an actress, it has to be different because you have to act, you have to be physical, you have to be outdoors. How is that a different mentality that you have to create from the beginning, since just reading the first time the script, or is something that you have to talk to William and coordinate certain stuff?
Both. We did a lot of talking beforehand about what it was going to be like and the experience, and then getting into those wonderful costumes from our costumer, Paula Rogers, really added to that physicality. I mean, being in a corset in, 100-degree weather in the heat and the wind and the deserts of Tucson, it kind of brought it for me naturally. And then getting to do my own stunts, like getting to ride a mule, that was certainly some fun physicality for that too. But Dulce is like, I like to think of her as just this figure of grace in this really wild and violent and dangerous time and place.
William, I'm glad the Sarah mentioned the costume, and I noticed that usually Western they're really dirty. The wind, the environment, but your Western is a clean costume Western.
Yeah.
Is that was intentional, or you wanted to create something clean but also violent and entertaining?
Our bad guys were dirty. They were dusty and dirty.
Exactly.
I wanted, I studied a lot of European films leading up to filming, and I wanted this to feel more European. I wanted to feel graceful and elegant, like a period piece drama versus a dirt Western, good guys, bad guys, everybody dies. No, I was very specific on the costumes with Paula Rogers, and she did a genius job. Very specific with Daniel King, the production designer. Interiors like Vivian's saloon. I wanted it just gorgeous. I'm a fan of Baz Luhrmann, so I wanted a soiled dove in a bird cage singing in French. And even, Dulce's home was gorgeous on the interior. So I really wanted it to be a very beautiful period piece. So it was by design all the way, Ruben. Yeah.
What was the film that you inspired directly?
Oh gosh, so many. I mean, honestly, when I say I studied European films, I did. And well, Jane Eyre, to be honest, that was my number one inspiration. The cinematography of Jane Eyre, just the elegance and the grace and the beauty. I really want to. And then our score is classical music inspired. Our composer Tommy Field is a great friend of mine. So we listened to lots of Bach and Beethoven and Mozart to be inspired, which is atypical for a Western.
Exactly, and I find it super interesting because your movie. This is a question I want to ask something to Sarah, but I want to go back because it's just between how we get out the Western or the area of to a modern area, like a modern time. And I think that your Western is kind of in the middle of those two, like that big jump that we jump into modernity. And did you wanted to create something? You wanted to say something about those two eras because it's like a drastic change from going to horses and living in small towns to have cars, to have cities, to have banks and everything. It's just like a 20 years apart.
It's true. We are the turn of the century in this film, and we talk about it. We talk about the advent of the car, the automobile, and electricity and medicine. And we won't spoil it, but the twist of our movie was a very topical item in Europe. They started studying psychology
Yeah.
in Harvard Medical. So, I want Sarah to talk, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pointed out it was a turn of a century that was also inspired for our movie.
Sarah, how important is for you the costume? Like not just the physicality. Like have your own costume. Did you recommend it some stuff? Did you do a research? How important is to create a character for you to have the right costume?
Huge, huge. And I'll tell you the truth, Ruben, this was my first time being the lead in a feature film. So to have Paula actually ask me questions and say, how does this, do you feel this represents Dulce? Is that what you were thinking? How do you feel about these colors? I was like, you're asking me? Like you want my, and she really did. It was really a collaboration because she really cared about my take on the character and she wanted to represent that. And she just did a gorgeous, beautiful, amazing job. And yeah, I loved it. I loved everything about it. The only time I didn't wear the costume was when I slipped on my Converse tennis shoes to climb up the mountain to sit on the hillside. They're hidden under my beautiful long dress. But that's a secret just for us.
Yeah.
How important is because now we have Western and musicals. That's basically the cornerstone of all Hollywood classic films. We had, but we don't have it anymore. We have rarely one musical a year. We have two or three Western a year. Before, there was to be a Western every week, basically. How does it feels to be your first big role being in a genre that's basically only American because Western is only it was created basically for Hollywood. How does it feels to be part of something that's not that common anymore?
It's huge. I mean, it's huge. And, Westerns also have like, you could say a tendency to kind of mythologize a certain American landscape that doesn't really represent all of us, Latinos. And this film in particular really gives, an inclusive feel. It shines a light on the Latino experience in that time. That was really, really, really important to me, and just huge. And the way William and the creators did that in this movie, in a way that wasn't just one-dimensional lover. Dulce is so multifaceted, and including the story with her sister and the Spanish and their family, how close they were to their parents. I mean, that's all there, and it was just such a huge honor, and I'm just so grateful to William and the creators for giving me this opportunity to represent.
William, the first time that I saw Sarah, it just reminded me that first shot when we see Catherine Zeta-Jones back in the Zorro. Like, who is she?
I love that movie.
And 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 you wanted to put her on the spot. Like you wanted to know who she is. Besides that she's beautiful, she also had a strong character, a strong female character, and she's the lead. Do you wanted to create that the movie turned and it was narrated basically through her character?
Absolutely. Sarah's character Dulce is the center. She's the sun, you know,
Hmm.
you revolve around her.
And all the characters were the planet. That's what I was thinking too.
That's right. No, and that's why it was so important when we met with Sarah and she earned and won the role over thousands of brilliant actresses across America. My wife is the casting director, T.U. Loiga, and she called me from the office and said, "Okay, I just found Dulce." And we had seen so many fabulous people. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." She goes, "Sit down, press play." And I watched Sarah's performance and I was just like, "Oh my God," because she is sublime in the movie. And she brought so many colors to the role that really were not on the page. And I'm an actor by trade, Ruben. So I would whisper in Sarah's ear, blah, blah, blah. And she would bring all these colors and layers that, with, one or two words from me, and she would bring a whole new rainbow of color. So it was important because without Dulce and an actress like Sarah, the movie's flat
Yeah.
and irrelevant.
Of course, she's Latina. She have the spice.
Por
And the
seguro,
heart,
amigo,
the
por seguro,
passion.
Exactly.
It was really important. Sarah touched on it, the Spanish language part of it, but that was very important to me to be authentic, you know. And Sarah and Cosima, who played her sister, did a brilliant job.
How both do you expect? What is the expectation that you both have? The people come out from the movie, like after the movie finish. Do you want to create a conversation? Do you want to create still we can tell story about Western and go back and revisit films? What do you expect the people take away after they watch the film?
I want them to talk about and feel the beauty and the weight of resilience and how it's in your everyday choices. And I hope the film offers a fresh take on the Western. It's gritty, but it's also really poetic. I think it's a beautiful family movie. I hope it inspires people to be more forthcoming about their struggles, perhaps, and to follow their dreams too.
How about you, William?
Um, I hope number one that on November 7, everyone goes to the theater if there's one close to you.
It's 2 days before my birthday, so I hope people go.
November 7 is your birthday?
No, November 9 is my birthday.
Oh,
But
number 9.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, that's our
Thank you.
present to you, Ruben, is this movie.
It's a great present.
But I
We
hope
made it for you.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
But I hope people can go to the theater if it's close to where they live. I hope that they want to, and Sarah touched on the high points, but to offer hope. There's hope. There's faith. There's goodness. One of the lines in the movie that's so important: goodness must lead the way.
Hmm.
I think if we as humans can take that into our hearts after watching this movie and realize that one person can change the direction of another person's life, which is a domino effect. Goodness can throw thousands of dominoes into the world. So I hope people find that in their heart. I hope they want to watch it again because it's a very deep movie.
The twist is super cool. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, and we can't talk about it because it is
No,
so.
I don't want it. For me, when I recommend a movie or I watch a movie, I prefer not to read about anything. I don't watch trailers. I only watch trailers when I'm at the movies because there's the option. But I cover a lot of festivals, and I prefer not to read anything, even barely watch the poster, because I want to be involved in the story without any expectation, like I did with your movie. I know it was a Western. That's the only thing I needed to know. And I saw the cast. You have a great cast, including Sarah. But I just wanted to be involved in the story, surprised by it, and do not like fill my mind like how this character is gonna be. And I think you did a good job doing that. Like, do not go by cliche. Even the ending, and you say something important. I can remember a Western they use classical music. Of course, we have original scores, but classical music I can't remember any. And I think it's a very special movie that you both made because you both like Sarah. You are William. You are the eyes that William had on his vision for this
Thank
film.
you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ruben.
Very kind. Very
Yeah.
kind.
Well, we just hope that, the movie gets a chance to be seen. Being an independent film we don't have $300 million to promote the movie. But we have people like you that are willing to speak with us and support us. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much for your time and congratulations, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you so
Okay.
much.